Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've made a video. It has been a really busy past few months and everything, and yeah, so thank you guys for just being patient. But today I wanted to make a video to talk about what advice I would have liked to have or what I want to tell other people before going through boot camp. So I think one of the biggest things that gets the most overlooked is you and your significant other should sit down and you need to have a conversation about where you think your relationship is going, especially if they're planning to go active duty. Are you going to want to sit around and wait for them to come back in 4 years or longer? And that's something that you guys really need to talk about. Do you see your relationship lasting, or are you okay with waiting, or what do you want to do? That's something super important. And so if you haven't discussed where you want to be long term, I would definitely recommend doing that beforehand, because especially as a girl, just having that reassurance or just knowing what you're both thinking, it'll help you a lot. And when you're not able to talk for 3 months, that will just help put your mind at ease a little bit. So I would definitely recommend doing that. You need to have these hard discussions, and it's not always going to be fun, but it will be worth it. And if you need to break up, that's a conversation that you should have too, because it's important to make sure that your feelings are being heard. And it's your life too. When someone that you love joins the military, it doesn't just affect them, it affects those around them. And so if you know this is it, then it'll definitely be worth it to stick around and go through the hard times, be a part, all that. It'll definitely be worth it. But if you're not sure, then I would recommend you should definitely sit down and talk about it and figure out what you're both thinking. Because if he leaves and you haven't talked about that, then there's gonna just be this big thing that you should have talked about, but you didn't. And so now it's just ooh. Before he leaves, I would also suggest maybe make a list of things that you want to do and spend good quality time together. So when you're together, get off your phones, just enjoy being together and just really try to be in the moment. I know it can be really hard to try to ignore the fact that he's leaving in X many days, but if you can just try to focus on being together and enjoying the time that you have left, that'll be helpful to you as well. Like I just mentioned, if you want to make a list of things that you would like to do, maybe you want to go hiking, maybe you want to go to a drive-in movie, maybe you want to go get pictures taken, whatever. Do some fun things and make some fun memories so that you have something to hold on to and remember and laugh and smile about on the days that aren't going to be so fun and easy to get through. Before he leaves, there are also going to be some other challenges, and a lot of them are going to probably involve time and how he's spending his time, because you got to remember, he's probably, if your boyfriend is really close with his family, then he needs to be spending time with them too. As much as he loves you and wants to be spending time with you, and you want to be spending time with him, you do need to take a step back sometimes and just say, you need to spend time with your family and I need to be okay with that. Sounds kind of funny, but if you're in the position, you know what I mean. And it can be really hard to give up time because you feel like you don't have any, but it's important to do because his family needs him just as much as you do, and if not more, just depending on the situation. So you just got to be really flexible before he leaves. I mean, if you're working, if you want to take off work just to have a few days to just spend time and not feel stressed, if you're in the position you're able to do that, then I would say go for it. That might be something that you want to do, or you might want to keep working just to be keeping your mind busy. It just really depends on how you feel and how you work best. How does that make sense? Whatever. Before he leaves would also be a really good time to think of some things that you want to do while he's gone that'll keep you busy. So maybe you guys can sit down and brainstorm together, or you can just take some time by yourself, maybe jot down a little list, type it in your notes in your phone. Just think of some things that you want to get done while he's gone, because then when he is gone, you'll have something that you chose that's important to you to work on. And as you can see yourself accomplishing those goals, that will just, it feels so much better than just sitting around wallowing in self-pity for days and weeks on end. Like, the more that you can do, the better off you're gonna feel. And if you can accomplish something, then that's even better, I promise. Before he leaves, you should also have a conversation about if he wants you to see him the day that he does leave. And this could be tricky, like if your boyfriend is not exactly sure when he's leaving, like if he could just be leaving at any time, then that could be a little bit difficult. But if he's got a date and they're not gonna change it, and you'll know depending on what situation you're in, hopefully. But if he knows when he's leaving and he decides that he doesn't want to see you on the day that he leaves, then that can be tough. That is what Daniel did, and I just have to respect that and try to understand, even though it's really hard because you know you want to see him. But at that point, like, they need to be in a place mentally where they're just ready to go and get this going, and not, they can't really be all emotional. Like, that might sound weird, but that's just kind of how it is. And so I would recommend also having that conversation ahead of time, just to know what he's thinking and what you're thinking, and if you need to compromise, whatever. Like, it's just important to make sure that you talk about these things, and some of them you're not going to think about until you're in the moment, and that's fine. But I just want to try to give you guys some insight to help everything just go a little bit smoother and feel a little bit better amongst all the change, because it can be really hard, and there's not that much advice or other people's stories out there. So sometimes you might just feel like you're all alone, and that's not a fun feeling. So I'm pretty sure I talked about this in a few other videos, kind of what to do when he's gone, but I don't think it would hurt to do before he leaves either. I know that I've mentioned probably a million times, I had decided like way in advance that the Monday after Daniel left, I was gonna go and get my nails done, because that would give me something to look forward to, and then I would feel all pretty, at least my fingers would, and that would just be something to kind of lift your spirits. So I would think about, like, maybe if you've got time and you just need something to do, look at the calendar ahead and see like what days you can pick to do something fun, or just take a day to relax and maybe like watch some chick flicks and eat ice cream, you know, whatever. Call your friends up, make plans. And I would also, like, so this is just a segue into the next point. Before he leaves, make sure that you have some friends. Yeah, so if you are not good at making friends and you don't have a lot of friends, I would encourage you to try to get better at putting yourself out there and go out and actively seek friendship, because it makes it a whole lot easier to get through something like this if you're not alone. And you're never really alone, but if you feel like you're alone and no one's really there encouraging you and supporting you, it'll just make a huge difference to have at least one person that you can count on to be there for you, to encourage you, to go and do fun things with you. It makes a big difference. So I would encourage you to do that, and it can be really hard, so don't put an expectation of perfection on yourself, but just go out and see what happens. Try to make some friends. It'll be worth it, I promise. It helps a lot. Before Daniel left, I made little cards, like I numbered them day 1 through day 90, whatever, however many days it was, and they're just little, hear my dog in the back, they're just a little postcard kind of size, and I put it in the envelope. So I did that before he left, so that while he was gone I could give them to him. So if you want to do something like that, oh hi. So anyways, if there's something like that that you want to do that takes some planning ahead, that's another thing that you can do before he leaves. It'll stop looking at me. But that's something else that you can do before he leaves. Anyways, hopefully this video wasn't too all over the place, but if you guys have any other questions, please definitely feel free to leave them in the comments below, or send me an email. I'll leave my email down below in the description like I always do. If you have any questions or anything, if you just need someone to talk to, don't be afraid to reach out. I will get back to you guys as soon as possible. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you found it helpful, let me know. If you have any other video ideas that you would like to see, definitely leave it down below or email me like I said before. I hope you all have an awesome day. Bye!